Hi, 402. Let's go ahead and see what we have in store for us this week in our work packets. As a reminder, we have our 2 YouTube channels. I'll talk about more with Mr. LaBelle's channel. It's going to be helpful in math for a couple of assignments. In reading this week, you're going to begin in your Kids Learned workbook with an article called Shark Attack. It only has 2 questions. It's a short 2-paragraph story. The first question asks you to list 2 details or 2 facts from the story. If you were in an intervention group that practiced race a lot, like Mr. LaBelle, Mrs. Duffy, Mrs. Freitas, those students, I would like you to try to use race if you remember. If you were in my intervention group or one of the smaller intervention groups, you haven't practiced that a ton. So if you want to try it, you can, but you don't have to. If you simply want to list 2 details from the story in good, complete sentences, great. That would be definitely enough for me. Next year in 4th grade, all of you are going to be retaught what race is all about. So no need to worry if you don't completely remember. Moving on, for Tuesday and Wednesday, you are going to be working in your benchmark reader. It's actually the last story, the last page that you're going to be using in your benchmark reader. And it's just a quick little 1 page. That page right there is the only page that you have to read. It's about Benjamin Franklin, and he was very famous for giving us some well-known proverbs. And you're like, well, what's a proverb, Mrs. Walker? Well, a proverb is a piece of advice or a very wise saying. Sometimes people say it's a timeless saying. It kind of works for all times. It never gets old. It never loses its meaning. So there's 5 sentences there in the story after your introduction paragraph. Sentence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're even numbered there. Of those 5, you're going to read each one of those sayings that Benjamin Franklin said, and you're going to circle your very favorite one. Be sure to read the introduction paragraphs above it because it'll kind of help you understand what it is that's going on. Then on Wednesday, the one that you circled, you're just going to write about it. And on a piece of paper, tell me, why did you pick that one? Why is it important to you? Probably should be, 3 sentences long, I think your answer. 3 good sentences that tell me what was the proverb and why did you choose it? Why was it important to you? Then for Thursday and Friday, you're going back to your Kids Learned workbook. You're going to work on a page called Cause and Effect. Now, I really want to make sure you know the difference between a cause and an effect. So I've written that here on the screen. A cause is something that's happened first. The effect is whatever happened second. Now, you see in that blue box on the worksheet page, there's a rain cloud and a rainbow. The rain cloud is what would have happened first. It's the cause. The rainbow is what happens second after the rain has happened. That's the effect. So for sentences 1, 2, and 3, they have given you a cause. They gave you something that happened first. They want you to imagine, okay, if that happened, what could happen second because of it? What could be an effect? And you're going to write down whatever idea you think that matches on those lines. But in 4, 5, and 6, they switch it. They give you the second thing. They said, oh, this thing happened second. This effect happened. What caused it? What was the thing that happened first? So you're going to have to think backwards. Oh, what could I put there? What would have caused one of those things to happen? Okay? Moving on to writing. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I saw writing this week was I made a mistake. The second assignment is the cause and effect page that I just talked about. So I drew a big fat X through it. You can do the same thing. Don't do that on Monday. Save it for Thursday and Friday. Okay. Now, all that you're going to be doing on page 44 is looking at some words that are singular, meaning one, and you're going to turn it into plural, meaning lots of them. The only tricky part is that these singular nouns, when I turn them plural, I don't just add an S. That's what irregular means. It means it doesn't follow the rule. So none of these words, when I turn them from singular to plural, am I going to add an S. None of them. If you're adding S's at the end, you've done it wrong. You're going to have to change the entire spelling. Their example was woman, like one woman, or lots of women. I didn't put an S at the end, but those 2 words go together. Woman is one, women is lots of them. So pay attention to that. Now, an important thing you need to know that for days 2 and 3, when you're writing a book recommendation, I'm going to make that optional. You do not have to do that assignment. This is especially good for students. If your parents are still working and they're not able to help you or make sure that you're getting your work done and you're having a hard time getting everything done, then I'm saying this assignment right here for Tuesday and Wednesday, you can skip. I would much rather you focus on the Benjamin Franklin Proverbs in your benchmark reader. That's a priority this week, not this book recommendation. But you can do it if you want to, and I would love to read and maybe draw a picture about what your favorite book is. On Thursday and Friday, you're going to be doing some worksheets with nouns and verbs. It's very simple. And then on Friday, you're going to be, the first page is just multiple meanings for a word. Like the first word is the word part. And part has 3 different definitions. It can mean 3 different things. So you're going to look at some sentences, and for each one, they're going to ask, well, which definition matched with the way that they used part here? Was it definition A, definition B, or definition C? And all you have to write is A, B, or C. Whichever definition matches with the way they used the word. That's it. On page 57, it's just which word was spelled correctly to complete the sentence, things that you guys are very familiar with. And I have some advice here. If you haven't had a chance to go outside and try your work outside, you really should do that. My kids and I have been doing that for a couple of days, and I just love these breezes. It's nice to do work when you can hear the birds chirping. All right, math this week. I have put stars next to my 5 most important assignments. Again, there are 2 pages every day, but if you only have time to do 1 or you only want to do 1, these are the ones that I would like you to complete. That's what the stars are for. You might want to hit pause right now and make a note on your paper of what these 5 assignments are that I want you to complete. You can do that now. What the red circles mean is these 2 assignments that have red circles. I think it would help if you went to Mr. LaBelle's YouTube channel. The first one is telling time. He has a video there that I made about telling time. And at the end of the week, Mr. LaBelle has on his channel a video about fractions that I also made for you guys. I would really encourage you to look at those first because especially for Friday's assignment, there is no answer key. And I would hate for you to do 20 problems and they're all wrong. That would not be good. You're training your brain the wrong way. Please make sure you watch that video if you have forgotten which number goes first on a fraction. Which one is the numerator? Which one is the denominator? Where does the family name go? Where does the number of people that are home go? If you don't know the answer to that really, really well, you need to go watch that video on Mr. LaBelle's channel. Social studies and science, same thing as last week. And what I mean by that is that you only have to pick one of those chunks. If you love the social studies and learning about America and California, just do those 2 days. If you really love the science and the soccer and the force investigations, just do those 2 days. If you want to do all of them, of course you can do all of them. But again, if your parents are working or you are having a hard time getting through everything, here's another choice where you can make life a little bit easier for the week. Finally, work is due this coming Thursday. This time we're picking up our next work packet on a Thursday because that is when the cafeteria is passing out food. We thought that might be easier, parents, for some of you, so you don't have to make so many trips in a week down to the school. Now, here's what you need to know. I am going to be there from 9 until 1 p.m., but food is only being passed out from 11 to 1. So if you come at 9 or if you come at 10, I'll be there. But the food's not getting passed out yet. So come when it's convenient for you. You also need to know that when you drop off your work with me and pick up your new work packet, I'm also going to have all of the things that were inside of your desk that belongs to you in a bag with your name on it. I can give it to you then. Parents, you need to know that most teachers at Pleasant are not doing that. In fact, I don't know if anybody else is going to be doing it that day. Do not ask your other children's teachers if they are doing this. If they offer it, it means that they are. What they will be doing, if they're not going to make bags like I have, they are going to be putting inside of the next 2 work packets all of the things that they can fit that belong to your kid. If there's something that doesn't fit and you know it's there, they will communicate with you in other ways and how you can pick up those items, or you might have to wait until August. But do not assume that the other teachers are doing this. It's just something that I have already done. So come on Thursday, I will give you all of your bags of stuff. Last thing, What kind of work do you need to turn in? Here's my list. The first thing you need to make sure that you turn in are any pages you completed in the Kids Learn workbook. Rip them out. They don't come out super easy, but you can get them out of the page or out of the book. I did it last week for a lot of you. Rip those pages out. I want them turned in to me. Number 2, any math worksheets that were the extra ones. If you have done some of the problems or all of the problems, turn those papers in to me. If they are the assignments that are left for Friday and you haven't done them yet, then I don't want them yet. Keep them for the next time to turn in. But math worksheets I want. Next, you need to give me your benchmark reader this time. If you look down at the bottom where you see my face, this is the book that I'm talking about. You are now done reading this entire thing. We are not going to assign any more stories out of this, so turn it in so I can see how well you annotated and any answers you might have written on the edges of the page. The next thing I need you to bring is your writing paragraph from last week. You should give me your bubble map. You should give me your rough draft. You should give me your final draft. All 3 of those things I need turned in because I'd like to see how you worked from start to finish with your assignment. And finally, this is written in red. If you have library books or anything that you have borrowed from the school, it's now time to bring it back to us. I will be collecting those things, and if it's library books, I'll turn them into Mrs. Barnhill. Most of you don't have that, though, because they were still in your desk. We had just gone to the library, and I told you not to take those things home. I've already turned in those books. But if you have anything at home because you took one home on accident, please bring it back. All right? I miss all of you. I'm glad that we got this chance to connect, and I'll be calling you this week and to see if you guys have any questions. Bye for now.